Imagine you woke up as a famous Roblox UGC creator. You've got millions of Robux and millions of fans. But life wasn't always like this. It's a giant gray screen with a single cube in the middle. Welcome to Blender. You try to move it and you accidentally delete it. You try to zoom in and the whole screen starts bending and twisting. You're sitting there in a quiet room and the only sound is your mouse clicking. You're getting annoyed. That cube is the only thing that stands between you and making actual money on Roblox. You look at the top of the screen and there are hundreds of buttons that don't have labels. You want to make a sword or some glowing wings, but right now you can't even figure out how to make that cube look like a rectangle without stretching the whole thing. You decide to look up a tutorial and the guy in the video is moving too fast for you to understand. He's talking about vertices and extruding, like everyone should know what that means. So you follow along and suddenly your model looks like a piece of crumpled paper. You delete the whole thing and start over. This happens over and over and over. You start to think that maybe you're not built for this. You see other people on Twitter and Discord posting these amazing items they made in only 2 hours. And you've been sitting here for 3 days just trying to make a basic beanie. You decide to stick to the easiest shapes possible. And the result? Your first few models are bad. Like really bad. You're spending your Saturday night staring at that gray screen while your friends are playing games. And you have nothing to show for it but a folder full of files named Test 1 and Test 2. You stop trying to learn something at once. So you spend an hour just learning how to move the camera. Then another hour on a one tool. You start to realize that Blender isn't a program, it's a language, and you're just learning your first words. The tension doesn't go away, but it definitely starts to feel different. You finally finished an item. You've messed with the textures until they're clean. Now you have to actually put it up for sale. This isn't like posting a picture on Instagram where it's free and nobody cares if it's bad. To upload a UGC item, you have to pay. You're looking at your Roblox balance and you realize that clicking the submit button is going to cost you real value. If the item fails, that money is gone. If the item gets rejected, you might have to pay again just to get it fixed. You start second guessing everything. Should you charge 5 Robux or 50? You see the upload button and your mouse just hovers over it. This is a massive decision. You're deciding to put all of your hard work out there for millions of people to see. You finally click the button. You start imagining the worst case scenarios. What if they reject it? What if it's trash? You refresh the page every 5 minutes. Now it's been days. You feel like a failure before you even know the result. You think about the time you spent and wonder if you just threw it all away. Then suddenly the status changes. It's approved. You start jumping for joy, but the stress doesn't stop there. Now it's live. People can actually buy it. You go to the item page and it says 0 sales. You wait for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, even 2 hours. Still 0. You start thinking, what if I made something nobody wants? I definitely wasted my money, my time. You decide to share the link on Discord and Twitter. You're trying everything to get your first sale. It's now a new day. Disappointed, you check your item. 1 sale, then 2 sales, and there's 5. Then it finally hits you. You just started a business. Now that your first item is live, you just can't wait to start making more. You go back into Blender and something weird happens. It feels easier. You aren't fighting the camera anymore. You have a folder of base shapes you can use so you don't have to start from a cube every time. You decide to make a collection. You realize that people would most likely buy entire outfits instead of random pieces. Your decision making becomes faster. You don't spend 3 hours on the name anymore. You now know what works. You also learn how to handle rejections. It's now been 1 year from now, and one of your items gets taken down for a technical error. 1 year ago, this would have made you quit. Now, you just shrug it off. You realize that Roblox is a giant machine. A giant money-making machine. and you just had to learn how the gears turn. You start seeing your Robux balance grow. You use your profits to pay for more uploads. This is where the real growth happens. You become more efficient. An item that used to take you 10 hours now takes you 5 minutes. You're making better items in less time. You start to feel a sense of pride. When you join a game and see someone wearing something you designed, you just watch them run around, knowing that you added something to their experience. And that makes you smile. You now have a system, and you have a plan. Next thing you know, you started a Roblox UGC empire. You got people all over the world helping you. In the end, the difference between the person who makes 100,000 Robux and the person who makes 0 is not talent. It's the ability to sit in front of a screen for hours and even days, refusing to give up. You've seen the whole path now. You've seen the confusion of the first day, the frustration of the learning curve, the fear of the upload, and the steady calm of the success. It's not a fairy tale, it's a job. And if you work hard enough, even you can turn into an empire. For any Roblox player, this can be the best kind of job because you're the one in charge. You decide what to make and you decide how much effort to put in. You've learned that failure is just a fancy word for practice. Every time an item didn't sell, you learned what players didn't want. Every time a model broke, you learned how to build it stronger. If you're looking at your computer right now and you're afraid to start, just remember this. Every top creator was once exactly where you are. They were confused, broke, and they were staring at that same gray cube just like you. The only thing they did differently was they didn't close the program. They kept clicking. They kept failing until they forgot how to fail. This path is open to anyone. It doesn't matter how old you are or what kind of computer you have. What matters in the end is the grind. It's about making that 20th item when the first 19 didn't sell. It's about staying curious when everyone else got bored. You have the platform. And now from this video, you have the blueprint. So stop watching this video and go open Blender. Subscribe.
Element of surprise!